Levi here, again for the final time, back full circle in Redwood City. Behind me, inside, critics and fans alike are getting some hands-on experience, some hours worth of gameplay and pre-release code. Simultaneously, the studio dev team is hard at work, crunching, optimizing, and polishing all the last little bits of code for what we will all come to know and love as the new Tomb Raider. It's a culmination of everything, and the clock is ticking. These are the final hours of Tomb Raider.
Tonight we have a large audience coming in. We decided that rather than going to one of our partners and just doing a live stream, we decided you come to us. We have a big area in the studio, and let's open it up.
Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, we've never done it because right now we've got black curtains up around a specific area of the studio, which is our next big thing. Only a select few people have been allowed to come in, and everybody's heavily NDA'd. And now we're going to bring 80 plus people into the studio. But it's exciting, to bring those type of people into the studio. They're the fans. They're the people who love it, and we want people to be a part of our experience.
On one half of the studio, all that is going on like crazy. But basically, in half the studio, you guys are just pounding, working out every last glitch, every last bug, making sure that it's all just
perfect,
done and perfect, exactly, for your certs on Friday.
Yeah.
What happens when a game fails?
Then things start getting sweaty around here. You're dicing with death right there. We might be missing a release date.
That's how big a day this Friday is.
Yeah, it's huge.
If we submit and they come back and say, hey, there's maybe 35 things that we'd like to change, then as a studio, we'll change it. We'll improve them. Or there's small things that they say, hey, this experience might be better if you just fix this little thing. Then of course the team are literally sitting there waiting for that to happen. And there has been games I've worked on where we've submitted and within 24 hours it would get kicked back and they'd say, hey, you guys are crazy, you shouldn't have submitted it.
So, there are 80 people in the office right now. You're 4.5 days away from delivering this thing. And they're strewn about. What are they all doing?
So we have guys working out of very prioritized hit lists, right? So we say, okay, this is the most egregious thing that we've noticed lately. We'd like for you to focus in on.
What are you guys debugging here?
Looking at some menu transitions.
Oh yeah, we want to make sure everything feels snappy all the time.
Menu transitions. If I had a nickel for every time.
One of the toughest things with Lara as a character is her hair. You try to simulate hair in a video game, and it's not always exactly the way it would be in real life. But that's something that's, I think the fans really point that out, and they want Lara to look as good and as believable as possible. So even in the home stretches, we're trying to sweeten it and make you believe it. So I spend a ton of time playing the game.
So while everybody else is busting their butts trying to make it work, you're having fun. That's basically what you're saying. There's about 80 people that are all still busily working this last week before the game goes to search.
Absolutely.
One of those groups is called the what group?
The OMS group.
And what does OMS stand for?
OMS is an acronym for Oh My Shit.
And what does that mean exactly?
When you're into the high octane moment, the only response that we were challenging the team that it could come back with was, I would exclaim, oh my shit, that's awesome, right? I couldn't even cuss properly.
It could have been the OMHG, the oh my holy God team.
Yeah.
But oh my shit,
oh my
shit,
it resonated. So many companies focus on the explosions. And we love explosions. I mean, there's plenty of them in the game. But it's also about sometimes that implosion moment, that time where you actually feel like you're part of that. We have an early example in the scavenger den, very early in the game, where the camera is about 6 inches from the back of her head as she's in this claustrophobic moment as the ceiling gets lower and lower and the water gets higher and higher and the torch, you're worried is it going to go out. And as you suck in for that moment, if it's resonating with people, as we've seen it resonate here, you actually watch people who are claustrophobic kind of lean back in their chair a little and kind of react, and that's exactly what an OMS team is about.
You feel confident that in 4 days, in 4.5 days, this thing is like ready to ship and ready to rock and going to blow people's minds?
How about we look at that? I got a board that'll tell us.
Oh yeah, where's your board?
Right over here. I'm a stats guy, right?
Okay.
It's got to be like the McNamara version of reality, right? So and getting things done, like it's very NORAD, like with the update on where we are with bug count. So we have the number of days that we want to count down for, priorities of what people are given against, and then an overview of how many things are remaining to be resolved per person.
Carrie's got her work cut out for her. Come on, Carrie.
Yeah. Ultimately, we have to figure out how do we hit the quality on a predictable timeline. So right now, we're trending towards being able to hit that in 12 days.
But you need to deliver in 4.5.
Correct.
So what does that mean?
I need to go right now.
Where's your head out right now, knowing that in 4 days,
Yeah.
it's got to be completely
Yeah,
done?
I'm super critical of what we do. You know, you tend to be perfectionists. I'm absolutely that way. It's more like, this is leaving now.
Yeah.
You're done working on it because time's up,
Yeah.
and you're like,
But there could be one more thing I could do.
it's a weird feeling because it's been part of our lives for a very long time.
How long have you been on it?
Definitely 4 years. Yeah, like
4
years. Yeah, 4 years.
That's insane.
I know. I was young,
Yeah.
fresh face.
I was young then.
Yes. No bags, no
I had
grey
a
hair.
soul.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster ride, and during that time, we've been around the world. We've gone to shows, we've shown press, we've given hands-on, we've had community events. We've been in San Diego with you at Nerd Machine. We've seen people excited to see this and play this game, and it's been awesome. It's not just about Lara's arc; it's about the arc of people who've come in to the roles. You know, we've had people come in as animators and move up to the highest levels in their profession along these 4 years. So people have grown in these roles. Families have expanded, kids have been born, but we're coming to a point now where we're, you know, probably 70, 80 plus days away from launch, and this phase has come to an end. You know, it's been awesome.
With less than a week to go before console certification, the last few bugs to squash, and a general lack of sleep all around, this production is definitely going to go down to the wire. Will they make it? Join us next time on the final hours of Tomb Raider to find out. Over the last few months, we've followed the very talented Tomb Raider team through some of the most ambitious and innovative game development the industry has ever seen. In the next few days, they submit the final code for certification. If they pass, game ships on time and everyone gets some much-deserved sleep. If they fail, well, let's not talk about that. I'm Zachary Levi, and these are the final hours of Tomb Raider.
We've been around for 20 years at this point.
Oh, wow.
In this industry, that's crazy.
Yeah.
20 years of games, and many times we've almost not made it, right? Through generation transitions, or we've had ups and downs in terms of games being released. And for us to still be here, making games and being competitive, it's amazing.
Is this pretty typical for you guys to be in the last week, and really all you've got left are these little bugs to do?
Maybe it's a few hundred still left to go. The team's cranking them out. You know, you're play testing it a lot. You're getting QA, quality assurance, to make sure it's clean. You know, stuff's coming in still, as in like, hey, this crazy thing happened here.
And simultaneously, IDOS Montreal is doing what you're doing, just with the multiplayer
They are, yeah,
at the
they're
same
hard
time,
at
because
it.
the multiplayer and the single player are being delivered at the same time.
Yeah, so it's a big
on
team.
Friday.
Everybody's got to come together at the same time, at the same moment, and put pencils down and say they're done.
Pencils down.
Done.
See. We're submitting in 4 days. Let me tell you now, we've had to move Brian Horton. He was art director. He moved over to my department in Brand about a month ago. There was a morning that he woke up and they went, "You've created a beautiful world. Now step aside."
So my job is I'm working with a very talented team in the brand to make sure our screenshots are good, to make sure we have covers for magazines,
Posters,
to make sure we
all
have
that
posters.
stuff, right.
There's a lot of materials, just like in a film.
Yeah.
Where when a film's done and in the can,
Yeah.
you have to sell it to people.
Yeah.
You have to let them know what's cool about it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm coming to get you. I'm going to get you out of there. I promise, Sam.
What's been great about this over the course of the entire process, you traveling around with us, is that we've been able to bring you the final hours of each of the pieces.
Yeah.
We've spent probably the last 6 months watching how the music's come to an end and the voice acting has to be done. So each of our episodes up until now has really shown a side of the final hours of that particular person's role in the game. And now everything's come to a head where we're submitting the game this week. The guys are tirelessly working. You know, the guys have literally, at some cases, slept in the studio.
Okay, so launch day, let's say you were at March 5th now. Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm probably in bed trying to get 12 hours sleep. Because more than likely I would have been at some midnight opening the night before up till very late celebrating. So I'm probably at this time of the day, I'm probably in bed.
I think a lot of us won't even know what to do with ourselves. You get so heads down in something, and it's been a part of our lives for years now. And you sort of get to that point where waking up in the morning, you're thinking about the game, and going to bed at night, you're thinking about the game. I'll try to sneak a little time here over the holidays, but then, wait till the dust settles and we really get this in the hands of the consumers before I can really relax, I think.
Even though I played the game so many times, I cannot wait to take the cellophane off of that game.
Yeah.
Pop it in.
Yeah.
It's the
ritual,
retail.
yeah.
It's the retail copy.
Yeah.
And there's something special about that printed disc, putting it into the system, and you're like, this is the same game that I worked on for 3 years plus, and everyone else can have the same experience that I'm going to have right now.
Yeah. Of all the taglines, whether they're actual dialogue in the game or marketing lines or whatever, something that would sum up your experience over the last 4 years is A Survivor is Born.
Yeah.
A Survivor is Born in you, A Survivor is Born in Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah. We just wanted to be known as doing top-tier work. There's games I look at and say, I wish I worked on that game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I wanted Crystal to be that. And I think that with this one, we're going to do it.
Yeah, anybody can make an explosion look beautiful and make a world look phenomenal, but we now move into a period of time where it's about having a connection with something which is much deeper than just saying I have a controller in my hand and I'm guiding a character around and fighting or solving puzzles. There's a depth in the story that we're trying to tell, which hopefully for us is going to be able to set that structure for the future. Hopefully we've taken the risk and we've been shouting so loud about this that we're actually carving what should be done.
Oh, don't do this to me, you northern bastard.
Are you excited? You nervous?
I'm both excited and nervous, because we've been masters of our own destiny up until this point, and now we're going to continue that right through to launch. And what's great is that from the very first presentation I gave with Daryl about here's the vision of the game, all the way through to the very first game sitting on a shelf on March 5th, we've been there for the ride. We've been on that journey. And then all of a sudden you reach March 5th and
You're no longer
there's
in charge.
millions of copies of your game out there. And they're in people's hands, and you're thinking, like, how are they playing it? Are they having fun? What are they saying? What are they going to do? As soon as they put the controller down, what's the next thing for them? Do they want
What
to
do you
tell
want their
people?
response to be?
I hope those people see that the story we've built and the foundation we've built is one that will last a long time.
Doing something that's special is just incredibly tough, no matter what it is. You've got to really want it. You have to be passionate. You have to care about it.
Everybody realizes that this is a game of their career, and everybody wants to put as much time and energy into this as possible.
We have a studio full of passionate people who have put their lives into making this thing happen.
This is not just a game that we're just going to ship on March 5th and people will go, great, I've got another game to my credits. This is one where the team are going to look back and go, that was a journey. It's been an honor to be able to work on Tomb Raider, and long may it continue. I see this getting bigger and better over the next few years.
Alright guys, that was behind the scenes of Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, the final hour. The final hours, 1 through 6. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If so, tell me what you think of it. Hit the like button, drop some comments at the bottom, let me know what's going on. Alright guys, that was it. You guys see me beat the game, and I showed you the extra content behind the scenes footage. Alright guys, it's your boy Lamont, aka Big Mom. You guys take care.